Kashin Koji is currently the most mysterious man in Boruto TBV VORTEX. His unexplained knowledge of certain phenomena that has already occurred throughout the series is actually stunning. Since chapter 12 released, everyone is asking the question, how the hell does Kashin Koji have access to all of this knowledge? So today, I thought to kind of analyze Kashin Koji's background and come up with some premature assumptions on how this is possible coming from someone like him. Before we get into the video, I just want to say I do write and edit all of these videos myself, and they do take quite a bit of time and patience. So if you could take the time out of your busy day to drop a like, it would make my day. Let's try to get like 600 likes on this video. That tells me y'all like videos like this and to do more similar to it in the future. But anyway, let's get into the video. So let's start off with the glaring elephant in the room. In chapter 12, Boruto and the others defeated Hidari and acquired what's called a THORN soul bulb from his body. Boruto asks Kashin Koji, is this the one? And he confirms and says, there's no doubt about it, it's exactly what I saw. Now, I know everyone sees the problem here. How does Kashin Koji have knowledge on the THORN souls? And where has he seen it before? I mean, isn't this the first time one of the Shinju have been defeated? It just doesn't make any sense. And out of all people to know what it is, why is it Kashin Koji? Just in case anyone doesn't know what the THORN soul bulb is, basically, it gave the Shinju their identity, their appearance, powers, etc. It's the whole reason someone like Hidari can even perform the Chidori in the first place, and why he appears to look like Sasuke. It has the DNA and most likely chakra of the person who was turned into a tree. So in this case, it would have all the chakra that the tree sucked out of Sasuke. So much in fact that it allowed the Shinju to evolve into what we see now. Now, how getting it back would just automatically save Sasuke, I still am unsure about that. But it's now apparent that Kashin Koji has some part in this that we have to figure out now. Wait, hold on fellas. Before we get into the video, I just want to take the time to shout out Mecha Japan for the new merchandise. Mecha Japan is an online store that sells products from major Japanese licenses such as Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Bleach, and many more. Mecha Japan has more than 40,000 high quality products from Japan. The prices are very nice and the customer service team is very responsive and always happy to answer you in English. With worldwide shipping. Find many rare or very rare Japanese products that you can only find available on mechajapan.com. Follow Mecha Japan on X or Instagram to get the latest updates and information on all your favorite products. And also to get in on any new ongoing promotions. Use code 6path05 at checkout for $5 off orders $80 or more. As you can see on the screen right here, they sent me some more cool figures for me to show you guys. This time, I decided to include figures from one of my favorites in Dragon Ball Z. You see, we have Goku from his battle on Namek against Frieza, as well as this new Dragon Ball Super Broly figure as well. Definitely needed this one. Broly is one of my favorite characters, so I knew it was a no-brainer for me. And of course, you know we had to grab some more Naruto figures. As you can see, we got Minato from the popularity poll event that got him his own one-shot manga. You can even see it got the number 99 on the RASENGAN. Then along with Minato, I got this Sage Mode Naruto figure as well as another Boruto figure. The quality on these things is pretty good. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of these series, so having these honestly just made my day. You could probably go back on my channel and find some old Dragon Ball Z videos I used to do. These are my two favorite anime right here. But again, this video is sponsored by Mecha Japan, so shout out to them for granting me this opportunity for the second time now. Once again, use my promo code 6path05 at checkout for $5 off orders $80 or more. And now that we got all that out the way, let's continue on with the video. I started recording this video without even having a clear idea on how this is possible. I think it's just one of those things we just try to make as much sense as possible as we move further on into the video. But I do have some ideas that could be possible. Besides the point, I think this does however confirm where Boruto got most of his Ten Tails knowledge. This chapter actually makes many past chapters a lot more clear, like in chapters 2 through 4, when Boruto was trying to subliminally inform Code about the emergence of the Shinju, all leading to chapter 4 when he says it's too late. It now makes sense that at the end of this chapter, Kashin Koji was there with Boruto in a sort of "I told you so" moment. This tells us Kashin Koji not only had knowledge on the Shinju before they were even revealed, but it also means he was working behind the scenes ever since he escaped his fight against Ishiki. Kashin Koji and Amato have been doing research on the Ten Tails ever since part 1. They've been Kara inners to get information on the organization and the members associated with it. Amato also knew how much of a threat Code was because he was entrusted the Ten Tails. So naturally, after the threat of Ishiki vanished for good, the only person for Kashin Koji to focus on would of course be Code and the Ten Tails. I'm basically assuming if Amato knows something about the Ten Tails, then Kashin Koji would of course know it as well, just because they were working so close to each other in the past. Even if we go off of everything we know about the Ten Tails, or what was shown to us about the Ten Tails in the Boruto manga, it still wouldn't tell us what we need to know. What happened for Kashin Koji to have seen a Thorn Soul before? And if knowing what it is isn't impressive enough, then him knowing that it could save Sasuke is what makes this like even better. So we know Koji's main method for infiltration and information gathering is through his summoning toads. He uses these toads as his eyes and ears, and he can use multiple of them to basically be at multiple places at once. And because of this, he now also uses them to help Boruto with his flying Raijin technique. This is how I suspect Koji left his impact on the development of Boruto's flying Raijin. But perhaps Koji been watching the Shinju ever since they were born into the world. Knowing about the emergence of the Shinju is one thing, but perhaps he been keeping tabs on the Shinju and keying in on their conversations to gain more knowledge on them. We know Boruto always keeps a toad on him for direct communication from Koji, as well as to instantly receive intel from anything the other toads find out. So in other words, when Boruto teleported to the Ten Tails dimension, at that point in time, there were 2 toads there, one on Code that was holding the Konoha symbol pin, and the one in Boruto's cloak. Could it be that Koji heard maybe JURA discuss about the Thorn Soul, especially when conversing to the other Shinju about their existence? Or maybe this isn't the first time that he been to the Ten Tails dimension. If Koji knew that Code had this Ten Tails in another dimension ever since he was in the Kara organization, would he not think to further look into the matter by planting a toad onto Code earlier? If Koji did this, it would make more sense that he would know about the Shinju, because apart from first seeing them when Code used them to attack Konoha, he would have been known of their existence since Code created them in chapter 72, assuming the toad was already in this dimension before his fight with Ishiki. I mean, in that case, this would explain how Boruto knew so much about the Ten Tails and the Claw Grimes. So much more than Code actually. It wasn't Boruto's knowledge after all, it was all Koji's knowledge, who had been watching Code from the shadows all this time. He just been feeding the information to Boruto once he found him sometime during the time skip. Could it be that sometime during the creation of the Claw Grimes that Koji seen this Thorn Soul somehow? If this is something that all of the Shinju are supposed to have, apart from the source of their power, does this Thorn Soul also act as their heart? When Koji seen Code create the Claw Grimes, he most likely seen how he created them as well, obviously, which is why he can probably come to the conclusion that Code's karma also had an effect on the Claw Grimes and why they're even able to evolve into something like the Shinju that are capable of housing these Thorn Souls inside of them. Code always played as the catalyst for worse events to occur. Even if he didn't necessarily know it, Koji, who was watching, would know, not only because of his extensive knowledge on the Ten Tails, but his knowledge he gained on the karma as well. If he has more knowledge than the average person on both the karma, maybe the OTSUTSUKI as a whole, and the Ten Tails, then wouldn't he know something about the current situation that nobody else knows? Considering the fact that the Ten Tails and OTSUTSUKI have a very interesting relationship, that being what a Ten Tails need to devour in order for it to become a proper divine tree. In my opinion, these little subliminal messages have met its peak. I think it's time for that flashback chapter that many people have thought we was going to get for a while. I need to see how this relationship between Boruto and Kashin Koji came to be. How did they meet during the time skip, and when? As well as what was Kashin Koji doing all these years? How much was he investigating into the Ten Tails that he knows about the Thorn Souls? Too many theories have now gone unanswered, but something we can definitely look at with suspicion is Orochimaru's role in all of this. Even though there's not much to go off of to possibly explain Koji knowing all this information, What we can do is analyze the clues that the story has already gave us. And it's right here in chapter 9. As you all can see, this is obviously Orochimaru's hideout. Whether new or old, it still has a heavy connection with him. I remember there were theories early on that Orochimaru was actually assisting Sasuke and Boruto with trying to understand more about Shinjutsu and omnipotence, possibly to somehow find a way to return everything back to the way it was, assuming he wasn't affected by it. But either if he was affected or not, I don't think he would have a problem with Boruto, even though he supposedly unalived the Hokage. As long as he's accompanied by Sasuke, who Orochimaru respects the most, even more than the Hokage, it should have been all good. But with Kashin Koji, it could be a slightly different story. At first, Orochimaru would probably be a little bit skeptical of him, especially if he brought Boruto alongside him. I mean, that level of trust simply isn't there yet. But him finding out that Koji is a Jiraiya clone, the interest Orochimaru would take into him would skyrocket. Amado and Orochimaru both being scientists, I can see him trying to analyze how Koji came to be, which could also be a gateway into that trust forming between them enough for Orochimaru to want to help him. I mean, sure, you could say Orochimaru knows nothing about the claw grinds, the OTSUTSUKI, and code, but when you mix the knowledge that Koji has with Orochimaru's intellect, I wouldn't underestimate what they're able to figure out with just research alone. Regardless of their research, I think we would see Orochimaru in this flashback, if it was to happen, because now Kashin Koji is the most mysterious person in the series, and we need a chapter or two to pick his brain to see what he really knows. In this flashback, we're going to learn more about the Shinju and the 10 Tails as a whole than we were ever taught in the 12 chapters that Two Blue Vortex was out. There's also some questions that need to be answered, like when was the last time Koji got into contact with Amado, or was Koji even affected by Ada's omnipotence? Since he's technically a clone made in a lab and not 100% human, is there a possibility that he wasn't affected? That way, him being willing to help Boruto, even going as far as to search for him, makes more sense. I know I said next chapter we're going to have a Momoshiki appearance, but look out for Kashin Koji showing up more often in the story because of this. Right now, he cemented himself as one of the most important characters in the story, as probably the only person who knows what's going on and how to stop it. And because of Boruto, many people have questioned him on his knowledge and how he acquired it. So Koji is definitely on the hot seat. And if he's found out, what exactly do you think would happen? But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss another video like this in the near future. And if you want to tune into the chapter spoilers live stream I do nearly every month as well. Leave in the comment section how you think Koji knows about the Thorn Souls or about the Shinju in general. Is there something I'm missing? Or do you think there's no possible way that he should know this much information? Leave your opinions down below, and I'll try my best to read and respond to as many as I can. And until my next video, I'll see y'all boys and girls later. And I'm out. Peace.